Welcome back. And for those new to the channel, my name's Alan Tutt, and I teach people how to master the art and science of manifesting. When I wrote the very first course back in 2003, the very first lesson was about observation, perception, observing the world around you as it is rather than as you wish it were. And the reason for this exercise, the reason for this focus, is to make a firm connection to the world in which you live. Because it is this connection that we have with the world around us that gives us the power to change it. Not only on a physical level, which would be the normal way of changing the world around us, but on the metaphysical level with the power of manifesting. And so that very first lesson was really just a suggestion to go through your day and pretend that you are in a brand new world, that you know nothing about the world around you and you're learning it for the very first time. This exercise does have value, but what I would like to share in this video is actually the exercise that I talked about in lesson 3 of that course. And this is a form of meditation that I call active meditation. Now, the story behind this form of meditation, I had tried for years doing meditation the normal way. I tried sitting down, relaxing, clearing my head, and just letting everything go, and I had a tough time with it. My mind was wandering every which way, and I just could not focus my mind on one thing or essentially nothing, which is the ideal in that form of meditation, what I call passive meditation. And one day I got frustrated with my inability to focus my mind on one thing and do normal meditation. So I decided to do the complete opposite. I sat down, and rather than relax, I got a firm grip on myself. I activated myself. I said, rather than slow myself down, I'm going to speed myself up. Rather than focus on one thing at a time, I'm going to focus on everything around me. I'm going to be watching out for every little detail that could possibly be happening. And if anything changes, if anything moves, I'm going to notice it. And not only was I focused on what I was seeing, I was focused on what I hear. I was focusing on the feeling of air movement against my skin. I was feeling the different sensations of whatever chair I was sitting on at the time, whatever was beneath my feet at that time. I was paying attention to everything: sight, sound, touch, smell, taste, anything that I could possibly experience in that moment. And after about 5 minutes of that, of this hyperactive mental focus, I noticed something strange. All of a sudden, it's like out of the chaos came order. And by focusing on everything, it's like my mind finally understood that in order to truly focus on everything, I had to kind of drop the focus on every specific thing. Because if I'm focusing on something over there, I'm not focusing on anything over this way. And to truly focus on everything in my peripheral field of vision, I had to drop any specific focus so I could notice everything. And it was like the machinery within my mind and my body just went silent. And something magical happened in that moment, because I had shifted from an active meditation into a truly passive meditation without intending to do so. And when I did shift into that passive meditation, where I had completely dropped all focus, it's like there was a part of my mind that connected to a higher level of intelligence. And after a few minutes of sitting in there, it's like I understood things in a way that I never understood before. It's something I truly cannot fully describe, but it was like a whole new world opened up inside of me. I became aware of so much more than what was in the physical space around me. I had made a connection to a higher level of reality. And so, what I would like to suggest for you is to give this active meditation a try. Set aside a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes is probably enough, and just focus on everything and amp it up and amp it up and amp it up and amp it up and increase that intensity over and over and over again. And you will find that at some point in this process, your mind shifts gears and opens up to a new level of awareness. And it's quite interesting. Now, just to kind of fill you in on some of the details, like I said, this is something that I wrote about in my very first course back in 2003. And the responses that I got from my students after that particular lesson, lesson 3, where I talked about the active meditation, the responses were incredible. Pretty much every single person wrote back and said, "This is an amazing exercise. Thank you for sharing it." So hopefully you get something out of this one. I'd love to hear what your experiences are with it. And until next time, be blessed, my friend.